Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're doing the show. It's gonna be pretty good. Wait, what's going on? Wait. I mean, we're starting, right? You know, this is my intro. You know, are you expecting something? I didn't tell you to do a lead up to this. We're just doing a show, doing a regular show. April Fools! And let me tell you something, brother. If everybody's calling me a fool, and it ain't even April. Yee! I call me a fool, but I'll tell you this, man. When I looked into the eyes of Josh Emmett and I saw the soul of a preacher man, he absolved me of my sins as well as my consciousness with that right hand, brother. And he's going to do the same to this Murphy fella. He's boring as stale biscuits without butter. I see the devil in you, Lerone. And Joshua is pulling it out of you Saturday night. No ditty. Although I do love to hear little ditties, though. Splitty City Slickers. Let me tell you something, Berber. Splitty City Slickers. Welcome once again to another special edition of Split Decision Combat Sports, where Hank the Tank and my compadre to my left, the Idaho Fight Man, agree occasionally, concede points a time or two, but mostly disagree beyond the realm of human comprehension. And this time, we are very much split, I predict, on which combat sports promotions should get our time and investment this weekend, because they all want it. They all want a piece of our asses. But are we giving to them? That's the real question. We got PFL's first show back this year, which I'm actually pretty excited for, because it's nice to have a B show next to the UFC to get pumped for every once in a while. And I also like their season last year. We got one fight night, which is going to have a lot of great matches, including the great Sexon is back. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, we got Joyce versus Hrgovich, stacked boxing card with the marquee main event. And, of course, Emmett versus Murphy in the, I think he can pull it off. I think he can get the knockout, but he probably won't. Wow, such excitement for this
Don't forget, we got a pretty sick Bkfc card, obviously.
It's true.
And then there's going to be another Bkfc card, consecutive double up events on the weekend for Bkfc. Obviously, there's one Friday fights every Friday.
Yes.
And then there's a Glory one night heavyweight tournament. So sick. But we'll run down some of the names on there, and yeah, one name is missing from the equation. That would be Rico Verhoeven.
Of course. He's in an office somewhere politicking as usual.
Yes, 100%. So, yeah, what a stacked weekend, man. What a stacked weekend. Is there like a particular fight that you're looking forward to the most?
Good question. I do like Joe Joyce versus Philip Hrgovich, just because it's going to be two heavyweights smashing each other to smithereens. And also, of course, we got Jason Jackson in the PFL. I'm looking forward to that because I love me some Jason Jackson. Yeah. Smoking is a competition like a Rasta!
Man, Regent Ursel versus Alex Nichols is going to be a good one, too. There's not. I mean, Lerone Murphy versus Emmett probably going to be one of the more significant fights of the weekend.
It's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be enjoyable or not, though. I wonder if it'll just be Ige versus Murphy too. You know, with extra rounds.
That Glory one night tournament, though, sick.
No doubt. Let me look. What are some other fights on the UFC fight night that can catch my eye? Because I'm focusing on all these.
We've always been asking, like, where's Loma? She's the curtain jerker.
Yeah, no doubt.
How dare they do that to Loma Luke Boonme?
He's always jerking curtains and jerking other stuff. No diddy. But also, we had a sudden curtain jerk just today, and it was not an April Fool's joke. Jamal Hill. What the? Hey, get out of here. So Jamal Hill has exited his main event spot against Khalil Roundtree. Apparently suffered a broken heel. He turned heel on us, everybody. And now instead of him versus Khalil Roundtree, we have Carlos Prates versus Ian Gary as the main event in Kansas City, which is a banger matchup.
Are you saying that sarcastically?
Half sarcastically, half not.
Okay, listen. No matter how you feel about Ian Gary, and I know people have very strong feelings about him, this guy taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov on short notice.
Yeah.
He turns
Insane.
around and takes on Carlos Prates on short notice. Dude, this guy doesn't duck any smoke, dude. This guy, wow. Just, it's just dude. Who fights Shavkat Rakhmonov
and Carlos Prates on short notice?
On back to back.
Yeah.
And then just taking on short notice, dude, you got to give Ian Gary tons of props for doing
There are
that.
also 2 fights that I'm looking forward to. Of course, I'm very excited for Loma Lookboonmee to make her incredible return against the incomparable Estela Nunes. But we also have a pretty cool battle of the contenders, or the up-and-coming prospects. Robert Valentin taking on Torres Finney. Big power puncher, pagan Viking against Torres Finney, who just takes you down and smashes you.
Didn't they not give him a contract either?
Yeah, they didn't give Torres Finney a contract like
but he's
3 times.
He's here, so it doesn't matter. The contender series doesn't matter at all.
The 3rd time was literally the charm. That's what could. Well, I don't like a 30-year-old, but I love everything about you, kid. 3-0, 3-0 for 30. I like it. It reminds me of ESPN. But then, of course, we have the GOAT himself, GM3, against Brad Tavares. And how could I not like a GM3?
One of Hank's favorite fighters, man.
Entertaining, dude.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love GM3.
Well, we have a lot to get to. We're already almost 10 minutes in, so let's start running it down, man. Let's get into the first event.
We got PFL. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, obviously, the main event is fun, but I guess I have a couple fights I want to talk about, but go ahead and let me know.
Sure.
What you're interested in.
So first we got my big underdog, Giannis Bakar taking on Kikuri, Masayuki Kikuri. He is the #1 welterweight in Japan, but I don't think that's going to matter. Giannis Bakar, he was on The Ultimate Fighter last year. Did well in one of the fights and then got beat the next. Con Ofley, I believe, kicked his ass. But outside of that, in Cage Warriors, he was going on a reign of terror, doing really well in Brave as well. I think this guy's pretty solid. He's primarily a grappler, but when he wants to, he can just knock you out with a punch. So this guy, Kikuri, he's gotten some knockouts himself in Bellator. There's guaranteed to get a finish, so look out for this one. But I don't know, man. I consider Ultimate Fighter and Cage Warriors better caliber of competition than Bellator, in my opinion. And I obviously, of course, when you're from Japan, you can only have a certain level of hype, and then eventually somebody's going to take you off the tracks and you'll come crashing down. And unfortunately, I just think Bakar's going to be that. I think he has a surprising amount of power for a wrestler, and I think he's going to whoop his ass. That's my opinion.
By the way, what's up? The boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town.
There's so many songs about, love, heartbreaks, and relationships. Only one song about the boys being back in town. Isn't that just crime?
Yeah. It should have been sang by the new kids on the block, Then it would have been perfect. And of course, we have my lock for the PFL card, Mr. Jeremy Kennedy taking on Movlid Kabulayev.
I was like, Jeremy Kennedy is your lock? I was like, what?
Yeah. No, it's Movlid Kabulayev. He submitted Tyler Diamond, which I consider pretty impressive because Tyler Diamond
looks sick.
When he wants to, he can have a fantastic fight. Also beat Brendan Loughnane, former, actually at the time he wasn't a PFL tournament winner, and then he became a PFL tournament winner after this loss. So that aged like a fine wine. Beat Lance Palmer, who you also can't count out in a fight. Meanwhile, Jeremy Kennedy lost to Gabriel Braga, who I think is at the skill level that Kabulayev is. And then Patricio Pitbull knocked him out, but what else is new? Carvalho, Pico, by a shoulder injury. Meh. I'm not interested. I'm not impressed by his wins. And I think somebody like Kabulayev can basically finish the fight however he wants to. But I have him by decision. I think he's going to win not a competitive decision, but a decision nonetheless.
Good to see Larry in the chat. I would also consider Gabriel Braga as a lock, but he is taking on a guy that hasn't lost in a long time.
Yves Landu, yeah. Braga's solid for sure.
Yeah. And so I wanted to talk just a little bit about Umatalov versus Storley, and geez, Storley, man, guy looked like the real deal. Had some losses in Bellator, just a few, and then he comes into the PFL and just gets dusted by Shamil Musayev. Gets a dub over Luka Poklit by decision, and now they're giving him another just tough Russian dude who also lost to Shamil Musayev, but.
You can't beat Shamil Musayev.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess there's accusations of him being roided up.
What else is new?
Yeah, mostly from JL, but
okay, that's very trustworthy.
Yeah. He subbed Brennan Ward, a decision over Neiman Gracie, but decision Koreshkov, who's tough, and this is the main event we'll talk about. But I don't know, man. I like Logan Storley. I do think that like look at 6'1" versus 5'9". I think he's punching up a little too much in the weight class that he's fighting. Also, a fantastic grappler in his own right. Decent striker. I feel like Logan Storley's days at the top are done. I would love to see him get a dub here, though. Any thoughts on this fight?
I think it's going to be competitive. There are some people who have Logan Storley getting the win here, so couldn't be more hopeful that Logan Storley gets it done.
Plus 240 underdog, by the way.
Those are pretty good odds to bet on. But Umalatov, he's pretty good, and when he wants to, he can grapple and take you down. And the thing is with these PFL Russians, they could have 5 wrestle F decisions in a row, and you're thinking, oh god, they're just a wrestler, they're boring, and then boom, big right hand knockout, boom, puts them out flat. So I just think there's a surprising amount of tools that Umalatov can use in this one, and Storley's sort of getting up there in age, I'd say.
I mean, he's 32, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Umalatov, but I'm gonna ride with Storley.
Maybe in fight age. But hey, who we got in here? It's great.
We got Hippo. He says, "Whoa, I'm walking in.
Oh, got him all over my new Nikes."
Good to see Barter in the chat. Dude kicked it with me all night for Rise. Dude, Barter's a real one. Braga fighting some Canadian guy now. Actually, Yves Landu pulled out. Oh, we'll see. This is why we value Barter so much.
Yeah. Well, he's taking on Canadian boy. There you go.
Nice. Good to see you. Umalatov hasn't been looking good. He went to war with Naib Lopez and was getting pieced up on the feet by Neiman Gracie. Ew. Good to see Gracie. Dude, Neiman Gracie has some hands when he wants to.
Oh, Neiman Gracie's solid.
He's
gotten some wins.
I do think though, if Neiman Gracie, if you're a true prospect, you should be taking out a guy like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Getting pieced up by him necessarily, but do have Adam Boric. I'm gonna pick Pinedo by decision because Pinedo has been getting some thin. I mean, knocked out Gabriel Braga of all people. Knocked out Locknane.
Wow.
Jenkins. I mean, such a solid streak of finishes.
Lanky and powerful.
I'm gonna pick him by decision because Boric beat Barzola and went to war with Barzola, a guy who nobody finishes. Lost the decision to Patricio Pitbull 2 years ago. Mads Burnell, Jeremy Kennedy, and Eric Sanchez all decision wins. So I think Adam Boric is very tough. Hasn't been knocked out in a long time. I'm gonna just take a spicy pick and say Pinedo beats him by decision. Doesn't get the knockout here, but that would be sick if he did. Just rolling on the knockout streak he would be at that point. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I hope that Pinedo gets a knockout and continues his powerful ways, so that he has some hype going into the finals. But not gonna happen.
Got it. All right. Well, it's the main event. It's Jeremy Jackson versus Andrei Koreshkov. So
he's Jeremy Jackson.
Oh, Jason Jackson. My apologies. There's Jeremy Jackson.
My boy.
So if you don't remember, Koreshkov's not his last fight in the PFL because that was Lorenz Larkin. I think that was actually the last PFL card. You remember the spinning back kick to Chance Rencounter? He broke like 4 of his ribs in like the first 30 seconds of the fight.
Ooh, I heard about that injury.
You should go back and watch it if you haven't. Obviously, he gets in the PFL, loses to Umultov, but beats Goiti Yamamuchi. So, like, kind of a trend that I'm seeing is like Bellator guys do good against other Bellator fighters in the PFL. Once they get up to a higher level, it seems like they lose.
Night, Jim Kite.
Obviously, Jason Jackson follows that same pattern. I mean, he knocked out Amazov, so I have to pick him in this fight, right?
Yeah.
Beats Ray Cooper III, but loses to Ramzan Kuramagomedov. I got Jason Jackson in this one. Koreshkov, not much of a wrestler, more of a striker, but has pretty decent defensive wrestling. I would say Jason Jackson, the more well-rounded of the two, but definitely Koreshkov has better striking. I just think it's the size of Jason Jackson. I mean, well, says he's 6'1". They're both 6'1", but Jason Jackson, just his frame is huge. That's kind of why he bullied Amazov. I got to go Jackson. I hope it's a good fight, but I think that Jason Jackson's a smart enough fighter that he will make it not very entertaining.
Boring in order to win.
Your thoughts?
I have Jason Jackson as well. I think I have him by decision, but he could easily find a knockout. He's got good power.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's the PFL, man. And yeah, like you said earlier, like you liked the season last year. I did too. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes that everybody hates about the PFL. Rightfully so. A lot of their decision making is very dumb. But you know what, man? The product in the cage is pretty damn good.
I agree. I have not heard anything about Dakota Desheva. I hope she shows up again because I enjoy watching Dakota Desheva find nasty knockouts. It's what she does. But then we have Hank's locks and underdogs for the weekend, of course. And I'm going with the quick one here. A quickie. I'm having a quickie. Hey, just the tip. I'm going with Zoe Nowicki here. Like, yay, she's all over me, man. There's nothing I can do about it. Kelly Marin. Nowicki is pretty solid. She's been getting decision after decision after decision. Went from regionals right to Invicta, which I always think is a pretty solid path. But also, though I will say the women, the UFC vets, the UFC vet females, kick all the ass in Invicta. They do surprisingly well, or way better than they would in the UFC otherwise. But then there are some women like Zoe Nowicki who go from dominating the regionals to just dominating Invicta. Just find their path in there and dominate. Kelly Marin, she's pretty bad if I'm not mistaken. What is her record? She hasn't lost, but she hasn't done enough where but then amateur bouts, Muay Thai bouts, lose a K4. Wow. There's a K1, but there's K4. But she's done okay going into this thing. But Nowicki has had 2 or 3 Invicta fights, and I think she's more experienced. She could get this done however she wants, but I'm going with the decision because I just think she's more consistent on the feet and get the takedowns what she wants. I think she's really solid. So.
You haven't picked one finish yet on the weekend.
I have not, surprisingly, but maybe
I didn't see Dakota in the bracket, but she was in the UFC crowd the other night. Interesting. I don't think she's out of her PFL contract yet. They'll probably save her for some super fight card or something stupid.
I agree. Yeah.
But I would love to see her in the UFC. Don't get me wrong.
That would definitely be for the best. And then we have Octagon 69, and I am nice. No Diddy. And I'm going with the main event for my lock. I'm going Max Holzer. If you've watched this channel from the start, you know about Max Holzer. I picked this guy as a lock. I picked this guy as a lock 3 or 4 times.
I don't know. I have no idea who he is.
He gets submissions, and how can you forget this baby face of his? Bald little baby. He looks like that kid Powder from the old 2007 superhero film. Just complete albino. But I think he's going to win by round 1 submission. Denny's Ilbe, he has knockout power. You need that in Octagon. But at the same time, Corey freaking Fry got him with an armbar. So the one wrestler that he faces, he gets subbed. Whereas Max Holzer, all he does is submit people or beat them up on the ground, 7-1 submission choke, beat up Corey Fry, which shows the difference in talent and makes me wonder why they even booked this in the first place. Beat Eugen Blackdell, who I will get to on this card. Max Holzer, he's solid. He's got submission ability. I'm going with him to get the quick.
Okay, well, what's the odds?
Let me see.
Is it odds?
Do they even show odds for that? He's a moderate favorite. He's not a heavy favorite, but I think he should be a heavy favorite because Ilbay is not good on the ground whatsoever, and he let Corey Fry submit him. And then we have Eugen Blackdell and Karol Hrgovich. I'm going with Eugen Blackdell for the upset. He lost to Holzer by decision. He's the one guy who Holzer could not submit. And then before that, it was in We Love MMA, which always seems to be sort of the launching point for a lot of these German prospects right into Octagon. And I like the name, so I hope it keeps going. But before that, lost via armbar, improved and didn't get submitted, and then he's been the one getting the submissions as of late. Whereas this guy, Hrgovich, lost to a 9-3, 6-0. He gets knocked out completely. Only beats a guy with an even record, and anybody who seems to be any good, he loses to. And I am impressed that he went the distance with Max Holzer. That tells me that he's of a good enough quality where he can beat this guy Hrgovich by decision. So he's had a lot of splits go his way. So you know what? I'm gonna have another split go his way. Give me Black.
He's fading you.
He's fading me. Which one?
L pick, Hank.
Damn. Oh yeah, with Blackdell. I mean, L is in the name. Okay. I'm just mentioning the letters that are found within this fighter's name, okay? It's an L pick because it's literal, but it's going to be a W at the end of the day, okay? And that's it for Hank's Locks and Underdogs.
The next card we're going to talk about is good old one championship. Do you want to break down the whole card or just kind of talk about it?
I like the highlights, but honestly, the first 5-6 fights are pretty solid, in my opinion.
Look. This is a fight night, a numbered fight night. These generally don't.
I mean, the last 5. Sorry, not the first fight. The last 5.
Got it. I mean, you've got two MMA fights. 2 MMA fights. A Muay Thai fight featuring Tongpoon versus El Jamari. That's going to be a sick one. I'll probably go Tongpoon myself. You have a fucking grappling match with a man named Ashley. I think this is another Muay Thai fight, or maybe, yeah, it's a Muay Thai fight. Sick. You have an MMA fight with this man Bokang. Yes. If you don't remember Bokang, this guy is like totally tiny, but he gets it done. Very fun to watch. But yes,
I'm picking Zakharov in that one.
Got it. Yeah, he's
scary motherfucker.
Then you got Sexon.
Love this.
The man who yields to no one versus Asa Tenpao. This is going to be a sick fight. Asa Tenpao, very fun to watch. If you don't know who Sexon is, just Thai legend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All these guys are sick. Awesome to watch. But Asa Tenpao just got knocked out by John Lineker in a Muay Thai fight. Are we going to knock him for that? Or, I mean, John Lineker's done very well for himself in Muay Thai and kickboxing.
And one in general.
I mean, what are your thoughts on? Because I feel like
I think he's mid enough that Sexan can beat him.
I just think that Asa Tenpao losing to Lineker is like a pretty definitive loss for his career. No?
Yeah. And he didn't look good on the back foot, and Sexan yields to no one. So
yeah, Sexan's gonna knock Asa Tenpao out.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Didn't Sexan? Didn't he knock out Solano?
No, they just had a weird, very weird match. But Solano got into a very horrific car accident not even a week before their fight. Ooh. So I think Sexan just kind of
sort of put mercy on him.
Yeah, like, this is insane that you even made it to the fight. Yeah. And the fight was very competitive, but yeah, he did just beat Solano, but in a very
strange way. In a non-Sexan way.
Yes, but I suspect he will get back to his yielding to no one ways and knock Asa Tenpao out. I just can't. I don't have any more confidence in Asa Tenpao. Do you lose to John Lineker by knockout? I mean, That's why we love Ace of Tenpao though, because he's very, very fun. Good to see John Dang. John
Hello,
Dong.
John Dong.
All right, cool.
Sure that's
then you've got Sidichai versus Nico Carrillo. What a weird fight. What a weird fight. Nico Carrillo just got finished by Nabil. And
Nabil. Actually, he's not just Nabil, he's a world champion.
Sidichai, good kickboxer, good Muay Thai striker, but I mean, let's be honest. Nico Carrillo got a lot of older fighters on his way up to, I think it was the interim championship against Nabil.
Yeah.
And then he gets smoked by Nabil in the first round. So now they're going, hey, don't give him another legend. So look, Sidichai is a very smart fighter, very technical. I think Nico still knocks him out.
Pretty easy to call.
What? Finish chewing your food.
Pretty easy to call.
Okay. How do you guys think Bilal versus Fluffy at middleweight goes? It's an interesting fight. I don't want to talk about Paul moving up a weight class though until he defends the belt a few more times.
I don't want to fight Islam. That guy's my homie. You know,
just a style match. You got to go Fluffy, especially up a weight class, right?
Yeah, for sure. Leon Edwards got him down and was beating him up, and Sean Brady made him look like a victim. So,
yeah, but Bilal made Sean Brady look like a victim.
Well, the point is that Bilal makes people into victims. Okay,
math.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Obviously, okay. Regin Ursel versus Alex Nichols. Is this their third fight?
Yeah, it's the trilogy.
So Alex Nichols fought very safe in the first fight. I thought that they would just not give it to him based on that. And then they did. And then Regin Ursel just kind of picked up the aggressiveness and then just edged it out. So I'm hoping that this fight is more interesting this time because let's be honest, like the implications for this fight, Regin Ursel is a very fun fighter.
The implications.
I think he lost in one up until this point where he lost to Alex Nichols 2 fights ago. But I would like to see him really like put a stamp on their trilogy. Your thoughts on this one?
No fair cut.
Ursel by decision.
I think it's going to be a lot of what the second fight was. I think Ursel figured out Nicholas, and he's still figuring him out. So, not much different.
Roman Kriklia hasn't fought in a while, and he's taking on some guy from England.
He's supposed to fight somebody else. And then,
oh, got it. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. Expect Kriklia to turn this guy into a victim.
He's got a really nice 1920s robber baron look, though.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's getting away with all the money. No, he's tied that mistress to the train. What is the boy to do?
All right, guys. So one of the things I'm most excited for this weekend is going to be this Glory tournament. One-night tournament. So sick. I love me some kickboxing one-night tournaments. Who doesn't just love a kickboxing one-night tournament? I mean, but it's at heavyweight. So what do we notice when we get a lot of heavyweight fights on a single Glory card? We get guys throwing a punch and then dislocating their shoulder. We get weird leg injuries. We get riots.
We get fighters leaving the ring.
Yep, we get convicted felons in the main event. Jamal Ben Sadiq. So yeah, man. I mean,
paradise.
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a straight up mess. I'm guessing these two are the alternates. Horta is one of them, very fat man. Expect him to win and become an alternate, and probably very late in the tournament as well. Speaking of very fat people, you've got Nabil Kachab.
Not that Nabil.
Super fat guy, like super fat guy. But he's fighting Milos Shvetnikin. There is an interview with him on Rush Hour Fight Club if you guys are interested in that. Milos Shvetnikin, though, one of the more fun recent Glory signings. He came from K1. I like Milos. I like him a lot. I think he'll go very far in the tournament. I haven't actually seen how the bracket is laid out, but the next fight is Bahram Rajamzadi. What do you know about Bahram Rajamzadi?
Bahram Rajamzadi. I think I remembered that you hate him. Do you hate him?
I was a huge Bahram Rajamzadi fan. He killed it at light heavyweight. He was in the light heavyweight tournament that you had actually watched. He lost in the main event. But since then, he fought Levi Rickers, and he headbutted him. And he headbutted him like 3 times and even bloodied Rickers' nose. Shocked he wasn't disqualified. And then they stopped the fight on some like kind of weird shit. Like Levi Rickers, I think he cut open Bahram or something happened, and then they called it a TKO. Ridiculous. So I was like, good. Fuck him. Yeah. You can't headbutt somebody 3 times and get away with it. He should have been disqualified. So now
MMA God's karma right there.
Now I don't like Bahram. I'm rooting against him, but the guy's very fun. He's just a little undersized at heavyweight. I expect him to probably get the easiest side of the bracket, and then go pretty far because Glory loves this guy. They love marketing him. He's a dirty cheater, to be fair. But yeah, he'll go far. I think Milos probably could beat him. I don't know. Again,
market him like Eddie Guerrero. He lies, he cheats, he steals.
Then you've got Laduni, who I also hate.
Laduni.
He's a French fighter. You know how we feel about French kickboxers. And then you've got Uku Jurgendal, who had one time conqueror of Badr Hari, which, by the way, who hasn't beat Badr Hari in Glory? Oh wait, it's Hesdy Jurgis, but Badr stomped him on the ground.
I think I beat him at some point. I remember I was in the ring.
I have a ongoing joke where it's like, dude, they should just like hire me to fight Badr, and I'll take a dive. But that might even go wrong because Badr's chin is just gone.
You're gonna open up a cut over his eye.
I don't know. Like I can't. Look, it's Badr Hari. Like I'm not a professional fighter. I probably can't fight worth the shit. But I might, a gust of wind might come over and just knock Badr out, which would just be sad. But yeah, Jurgendal just got knocked out by Jamal Ben Sadiq like a month ago, and now he's in a tournament. So anyway, yeah, he'll probably get to the second round, but not much past that. Inosu is pretty good, but really, the man we really need to talk about. Well, there's Kevin Osaro, Cookie Osaro versus Adabui. These are 2 of the best heavyweights in fucking Glory, and they're having him fight in the first round. That should kind of tell you, if one of these guys wins, they'll most likely win
the whole thing.
Well, no, they won't. But they will be in the finals, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry, he's like Kennedy Nizuchukwu's long lost brother.
The other person that definitely will not win this tournament is Sina Karaman.
I remember this guy.
Clown. This guy is an absolute clown. He's a clown. He fought this guy in K1 back to back, and
he's so stupid.
Okay, you remember this guy?
Yeah, I remember it. I think we lost it together.
In both fights, that this guy hit him in the back of the head. He was fighting dirty, but Sina pulled an Aljo, and the fight was horrible. By the way, it's full of fouls, weird stuff happening. Sina is a massive man, so like he's got like 2 minutes of fun, and then he just falls off of a cliff. But yeah, he got hit in the back of the head, pulled an Aljo. I'm sure K1 was like, screw this guy, we're done with him. Now he's in a Glory heavyweight tournament. What is Glory doing? So yeah, like, you know,
how can you not love this guy?
Tournament sounds great on paper, right? And it's gonna be. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, dude, you got Sina Karaman, and are you kidding me?
He's gonna win the whole thing.
The man who is going to win this tournament is Jamal Ben Sadiq. He's gonna knock everybody out, probably.
Oh my! When did this guy come into our lives?
I mean, he's a lock to win this entire thing. If you don't know anything about Jamal Ben Sadiq, he gave Rico Verhoeven his toughest fight in Glory. He almost beat Rico. Like, dude, he was so close, but we found out that Rico is unkillable. You just can't, like, that's the only way you can beat Rico in Glory is you have to knock him out.
Yeah.
And you just can't. So he's
They
unbeatable.
made a deal backstage. Sort of
Well,
like
Ben Sadiq,
Stephen.
in and out of prison, kicked Rico Verhoeven in the ring at one point. I think he was cornering a fighter that Rico was fighting, and then he like kicked him. So that's why Rico's been avoiding him for so long.
What a life this guy's led.
I mean, so I guess Rico, and by the way, if you don't know, Rico is like on the panel. He's part of Glory's like matchmaking, and he's part of the decision makers at Glory. So I'm sure he was like, yeah, perfect. Put him in a heavyweight tournament, and then if he wins, he'll be diminished. Then I can fight him. By the way, do you know who Rico is about to fight at Glory 100?
Who?
Artem Vahitov.
Oh, baby. I love it. Hey. Circus fight.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. UFC doesn't pay Artem enough, so
he left.
Rico is going to fight him, and he's going to win.
Damn, he had a chance to fight Pereira. And he just he had a chance. He won the Contender Series.
Yeah, but they're going to pay him 12-12.
Yeah, he wins a few. He gets a nice knockout. All of a sudden, he's top 15.
That doesn't mean his pay goes up.
Oh, okay, right.
So now he's getting a payday. He's going to fight Rico. And then I guess Rico will maybe fight Jamal if he could stay out of jail. But really, I mean, Rico should be in this tournament, but he's just not because he is scared to take on anybody of note.
He's got very important decisions to make as part of the panel. Very important.
So, yeah, man, what are your thoughts on this Glory heavyweight tournament? One night.
I just hope that nobody walks out of the ring mid-fight.
All right. Barter said he's rooting for Senna so hard. Hope he throws at least 2 kicks.
That'll win him the whole
Barter. 12-12 for Artem is insane. Not gonna lie, Dana fumbled that. Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. 2 division Artem Vahitov is literally a better kickboxer than Izzy or Alex Pereira ever was, which is saying something. You're gonna offer this guy 12-12.
Yeah.
And look, Artem was very respectful. He said he negotiated for a higher contract, but they just wouldn't budge. So I agree
about this kid, Demetrius Johnson.
But yeah, man. So that's Glory. Look, Glory needs to deliver, man, because kickboxing is in such a weird place. Rise is sick. That El Dorado card was fantastic. But
when's the last time Glory delivered?
It's been a while, man. And Glory is top of the heap when it comes to the heavier weight classes. So they need to put out a good. This will be a good card, but I'm gonna be watching it with the side eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sort of can't look like a car crash. You don't want to, but you can't look away.
Barter will love this segment.
Hallelujah.
We're gonna talk about Bkfc. And Hank know that this was going down until
I didn't know.
I saw it in the.
Oh my God,
title.
Muhammad Ali!
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to make a joke about that. Muhammad Ali from the grave is fighting a man from India. We all know how that's going to work out. Round knockout from Muhammad Ali. Expect the Ali shuffle. But immediately after that, it's Alexei Olenek.
What?
It's Alexei Olenek in a Bkfc match. I think he just took on a guy in boxing in Russia, won, and now he's like, fuck it, I got hands, bro. I mean, really, the true story of why he's fighting again is much more tragic. His wife apparently left him.
Oh, left him. Yeah, that's right.
And now he's like, hey, yo, Feldman, let's do this. If I don't get a win here, let's jump off the bridge together, my friend.
Wow. That's harsh.
It is, because Feldman was talking about on Ariel how he was considering jumping off a bridge if Knucklemania didn't pay out very well. So
they'll be hand in hand right there.
So yeah, man, let's go, Alexei. Let's go, Alexei. Dude, he's way too old to be fighting. It's kind of.
He's still gonna find some way to get an Anaconda choke win.
In the BKFC.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to mention I saw that Sabah Homasi is on the card. Sabah Homasi,
Guy.
dude, I like Sabah Homasi.
Mhm.
He had a sick war with Paul Daly, one of my favorite fights ever.
I think I mistook him for that other blonde guy with sunglasses in LFA. He's like, "You don't care about this country? Fuck you, man." He's
I'm
an
not sure if he
interesting
fought
guy.
LFA, but Sabah Homasi is he's a dog. He's a dog. He got that dog in him, and I'm excited to watch him fight. I don't know who he's fighting, but Sabah Homasi, always fun. Britain Beltran Hart is defending her championship against Ty Emery. If you don't know who Ty Emery is, she is the girl who showed her boobies in the Thailand.
Gave us a show and not just the fight.
Yep. And yeah, what a sick fight. Ty Emery's down to scrap. Britain Hart is a fucking feeling. So you gotta love Britain Hart, man. Let's go Britain Hart.
Nice.
Why not? Are her and Beltran still married or no?
I have no idea. Wait, are you talking about Mike Beltran, the Viking ref?
Nah, bro, it's this other dude.
Oh, the other Beltran, of course.
It's this fighter guy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Austin Trout, only man to beat. Luis Palomino is the champ, and he's going to take on a man named Carlos Trinidad Snake.
That's a pretty cool last name.
Look, you got Muhammad Ali. You've got former boxing champion Austin Trout. You got Britain Hart. And you got a man named Trinidad Snake. This card has it all. This card has
Snake!
It all.
Snake!
It's going to be awesome for a Friday night. So I just wanted to quickly mention
Your husband is still Joey Beltran. Hooray for them.
Okay, got it. Artem going to Glory is because the Dana White Contender Series pay structure. Every prospect that is signed through Dana White Contender Series must go through the worst contract first, complete BS. That's the issue with being signed from Dana White's Contender Series. 100%. Larry, you are totally on point, my friend. Do tough guys get a worse contract?
Hey, they get $50K from the coaches challenge.
I'm very curious to that because it almost seems like tough is an even more pointless method of getting into the UFC.
But you do step on short notice often if you're a tough loser, which probably means sort of a bigger payday.
Yeah, but so do you if you are a Dana White Contender Series loser.
That's true. I guess it sucks for both of them. You have to get filmed during embarrassing moments too. That can't
be
good.
Yeah, I would say tough is just a tier under Dana White Contender Series. It's good to see Tress in the chat. He knows my name now. Hell yeah, love it.
It's the fight fan.
Barter says Olenek's opponent
Geronimo
has like 20 losses by KO. Let's go, Alexi. Let's go. That means he's gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna be Geronimo when he knocks him out. Down he goes.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, we got to talk about it. It is the boxing event of the weekend. It is Joyce versus Philippe Hrgovich. Now, obviously, the main event is all I'm interested in. Do you have any picks for the undercard?
Yes, I actually picked every single fight for that one. But the ones that I will tell people about that I consider interesting are, I think Chamberlain is on this card. Mark Chamberlain was a sort of solid prospect, really tall guy, one punch power. Turkey Al Sheikh really liked him, and then he lost to some other British bum.
Okay, it's kind of ringing a bell.
Yes, what was his name? His name is sort of memorable. He was always sort of like a journey. Josh Padley. Did not have a padded record, surprisingly. And then Padley got completely demolished by Shakur Stevenson, if you can believe it. 9th round body shot KO. Yeah, and I felt pretty good for him. I'm a
Shakur Stevenson truther over here.
Yeah, he finally got the knockout, and therefore Idaho is validated for everything. And then this guy's name is Delicious Ori.
Yeah, that was interesting. Looking through the card, I saw there was a man named Delicious on the card.
Delicious Ori.
The ladies love it.
Oreo. And then this guy is Nelson Burchell's taking on 5-12 dude. He's going to find a knockout easy peasy. And then I'm picking this guy, David Adelaide, to beat the 8-1 Jimmy Keva, because this guy has a bunch of power in his mitts. Big D, David. I'm loving all these names that we're finding from these fighters. But Yeah, he got
Another
his
guy,
last.
Big D.
Yeah, the big D. Gotta get that Sunny D, babe. But he got a round 1 knockout in his last fight. Lost to Fabio Wardley, but this is the dude that broke Clark's jaw. So
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
And Fabio in a neutral corner. Other than that, he's just been getting knockout after knockout, round 2 knockout. So I think he's gonna beat this guy Shigev. I think he's gonna beat him by round 3. I think I had him. Round 3 knockout? Yes, round 3 knockout. And then we have the main event, basically.
Yeah. Archer says there's another BKFC card on Saturday, too. Going back to back, they got some familiar faces on there like Fabio Maldonado.
Who can forget?
And Guto, I don't know who Innocente. I don't know who either of those guys are, but I do know who Fabio Maldonado is, and it's just insane that
he's innocent. He's innocent.
They're rolling out Fabio Maldonado and Alexei Olenek back-to-back days to fight. They should have them fight each other. Really, that'd be awesome.
That makes too much sense, Idaho.
I love that Feldman's doing Alexei is solid though. Love it. Okay, man. So listen, Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovich is it's a really good match. Okay, I know. Look, Filip Hrgovich was that dude. He was that dude. He beat Zhang controversially. Some people thought he lost. Knocked out some other bums. Mark Demori's pretty good. But then he gets that. Hrgovich was promoted to the IBO champ, or it was a interim IBO champion, some weird silver intercontinental belt. And then Dubois knocks him out. So then now people are like, oh, dude, Hrgovich is a bum. And it's like, dude, no, Hrgovich ain't a bum. He's a real deal. He's He's a top 10 heavyweight in the world, even after getting knocked out by Dubois, who Dubois went on to knock AJ out after that. So I think now we're starting to rate him a little more highly. But really, the story of this fight is Joe Joyce knocks out Joseph Parker. There was concerns over Joe Joyce just being too slow for a long time. He gets in there with Zhang, gets knocked out. Runs it back with Zhang, gets knocked out even faster. Gets a knockout over a bum in Queensberry. But then he loses a decision to Derek Chisora, of all people. Are you kidding me? Now he's getting, one last shot at being a top heavyweight in Filip Hrgovich. And in my prediction for the fight, under 6 rounds, Filip Hrgovich gets a stoppage. Joe Joyce, man, it's a fall from grace, and it happens quickly in boxing.
Sad stuff.
It's gonna be brutal stuff. I got Hrgovich knockout 6th round. I think Hrgovich is still a top guy. Losing to Dubois is nothing to shake a stick at. And give me Hrgovich. By the way, what's up with that saying "shake a stick at"? Did people used to gather and shake sticks at things in large numbers?
Probably like a witch ceremony where it's like, ooh, scary. I got to wave the stick at it.
I can buy that. What are your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I think Joe Joyce is going to get knocked out. If Zhihei Zhang can do it very quickly, then so can this guy Hrgovich, in my opinion. He beat up Zhihei Zhang before it was cool. So, yeah, I think I don't think Joe Joyce has a chance. I think the chin's gone. The chin is gone.
Yeah.
No.
He did get dropped by Chisora, which, by the way, Chisora is just a brawler pretty much, but he made Chisora look like kind of fast, honestly.
Which is sad to see.
He's the slowest heavyweight.
By the way, the exact origin of the phrase "to shake a stick at" is uncertain, but some theories suggest it might relate to counting farm animals or brandishing a stick as a weapon.
All right, I didn't really need the background. I think my explanation was funnier.
That's true, but that's not realistic. So I had to give the people the truth.
I don't know. Barter's going to educate us on Bkfc. There's another. Oh, sorry. Aaron Chalmers fought in Bkfc and was famous in the UK for being the UK version of the Jersey Shore. Were you talking about JWoww and Snooki and
it's Joyce.
Like the situation? He fought ago, Mayweather in an exhibition bout a couple of years. What?
Wow.
Innocente fought in the UFC a couple times and then did a kickboxing and won for a few years. I think he was in the K1 Brazil tournament last year that nobody could watch. Yeah, nobody. That card was supposed to be in the United States and they moved it to Brazil, and literally nobody could watch it. There was no broadcast. They streamed it off of Instagram Live on some guy who worked for K1's like social team. Yeah, Tom responded. Bellator. Oh, okay, got it. Fucking K1. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks for giving us the background on that, Barcher. But it is time, almost an hour in, to rifle off some UFC picks, man. Let's get right into this stuff. All right, man. Loma Lukbumi, a favorite around these parts. Taking on Estela Nunes at strawweight. Loma Lukbumi, 9-3, 4-1 in her last 5. She's on a 3-fight winning streak. She's 29-5-1. There's no odds up on Topology for this fight at the moment. But you got Estela Nunes, bro. Look at this. Lost to Dudakova.
Via injury.
Lost to Hrgovich. No shame in that, in my opinion. Sam Hughes, majority decision. Not a bad loss. Got subbed by Carnelossi. Carnelossi, very strong grappler. But yeah, she is 6-5, 1-4 in her last 5. 32 years old. She's 5'4". It's Loma Lukbumi. It's Loma time. We got Loma by decision. I would love to see her get a finish, but let's be honest. Safe pick is to go decision here. I can't wait for Loma to put on a showcase.
Me neither. And especially with Estela Nunes, I actually sort of considered picking Lukbonmi by submission in round 2 or 3. Just because Estela Nunes, she has a lot of power early on. She's a threat in round 1. And then after that, she's been finished quite a few times. Submitted, knocked out by Hrgovich, found a way to get knocked out by Dudakova. And then Sam Hughes, she goes to a majority decision with.
It was a TKO due to a dislocated elbow?
Yes, it was. But Loma Lukbunmi, I don't see her as that much of the finishing type. I mean, it's hard to because she's so tiny.
Elise Reed, that's pretty impressive for a tie.
Yeah. Sign the petition for the UFC atomweight division. Make this lady the star. But yeah, I think she's really solid. But because she's small, it's just hard for her to find the backs of these taller opponents. No diddy. But Stella is no Amanda Nunes. She is not. Nowhere even close. In fact, I can't believe she's even still in the UFC with 4 losses. But it's obvious that they kept her around so that she could be a layup for fantastic fighters like this one. And I think she's going to do just that. I think it's going to be a Lukbonmi special. I think he's just going to tag her up, circle around. Oh, man, she's so fast. This is so cool. And then win the unanimous decision. And then everyone will be looking at her as her last name.
It's a strange matchup, right? Because Loma is like really good on a.
Yeah, she should be getting a top 15 fighter, in my opinion.
Totally agree.
Like, exact opposite of what we want.
I think they just kind of want to milk the Loma experience. I mean, she hasn't fought in a year. It feels like it's been so much longer. I like.
She's 29. She's not that old, but don't waste the best years of her career.
I agree. Speaking of women that are wasting their careers away in the UFC for some reason, it's Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alencar. This is a strawweight match. Vanessa Demopoulos, 11-6. She is 3-2 in her last 5. Arguably could have lost a lot of those fights. She is 36 years old, former stripper. Talita Alencar, 5-1-1.
Ask Joey Black.
She is 3-1-1 in her last 5. Her last loss was to Stephanie Luciano. But she fought Ray and Amanda. Yeah, dude, look, both these women are pretty bad. This one is a toss-up to me, dude. Pick them, flip a coin. But this is in the Apex. I think there's a chance that Talita Alencar could certainly out-grapple Vanessa Demopoulos. We know that grappling is favored a lot heavier in women's bouts than it seems to be in men's bouts. So I think the safer pick is to go Talita. But let me tell you, man, those Vegas judges seem to favor Vanessa Demopoulos a lot. And to be honest, she is the more marketable of the two fighters. I'm going to go to Lita by decision, but honestly, this is a pick 'em.
I'm going with Demopoulos.
One bet on this fight.
Yeah. She's winning a decision, I think. This is the battle of the evil brats as the little monster takes on the problem child. All we need is Dennis the Menace in there, and now we've really got a party. But, yeah, like Idaho said, Vanessa Demopoulos tends to win a bunch of decisions she really shouldn't. Beat Emily Dakota somehow and jumped into Michael Bisping's arms, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Kanako Murata won a decision somehow. Carolina Kovalevich, we thought she might win a decision there. She's scary, man. Okay? She could win a decision at any moment. And that's why I'm picking her. And by the way, Talita Alencar goes to a draw with Stephanie, and you're like, okay, she got a draw. She'll improve. She didn't. She looked worse against Stephanie Luciano. All she had was the grappling, and then when she didn't get her way with the wrestling, she sort of gave up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Split decision against Ryan Amanda, which is not a very good look. She just hasn't looked dominant in any one of her performances, whereas with Vanessa Demopoulos, this is the first time I've looked around at MMA predictors like videos that are covering Vanessa, and it's the first time they're like, oh, she's going to win. Like, usually I don't. I really don't pick Vanessa Demopoulos. She might get a robbery split decision, they'll say. But here they're like, oh, yeah, she'll win a decision. She'll win it this time. She'll win it fair and square. And so I'm just like, oh, God, how bad is Stephanie Luciano if people are actually picking Vanessa Demopoulos to win a fair decision? I think Vanessa's way better on the feet. She lost. She got submitted by Amarim, but Amarim's a fantastic submission artist and wrestler. So, and by the way, Demopoulos could have gotten out of this if she'd have stopped bitching about about Amarim touching the gloves and grabbing her gloves. She wouldn't have gotten armbar. Freaking negative fight IQ there. But I feel like Alencar has way worse takedown attempts, and Demopoulos is just going to stuff it, keep it on the feet, and I think just outpoint her, in my opinion. Announcer. And also, the only Robin that'll be here will be her on Robin Black's lap. So there you have it.
Actually, I think we have Robin Black on standby. Robin,
Demopoulos, what a wench! I love her so much, dude. I was one of the judges during the last fight. I was going to give it to her. I really was. But this time, she has the skills on the feet. She has the power. I want her in karate combat to sit on my face with the hug to a girl. Oh, my God, man. She is something else. Hey, Gianni, get over here. Your girl's fighting.
Oh, not Gianni the Greek.
I'm going to pick Vanessa Demopoulos. Oh, God. Spray tan. I'm going with Vanessa Demopoulos to win by decision here. Underdog money. You can't lose your money here. Thank you, Gianni the Greek. Thank you.
Oh, God. King's World, good to see you. We had a good chat on the post show. Let me hop on live and give my prediction for the next fight. So we don't generally let people hop on live during the picks show. But you can if you're a certain tier of member. Is that correct, Hank?
It is true. It is true. That's why Big Red can show up on any stream that he wants.
Got it. So yeah, check the tier membership streams, and yeah, you can hop on at that point. But yeah, let's move on to Victor Henry. Good to see you, by the way, Kings World. Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao at bantamweight. Victor Henry, 24-7. Gosh, 2-1 in his last 5. 37 years old. Why do we not have odds? It's bugging me. Pedro Falcao is 16-4. He's 4-1 in his last 5. 32 versus 37, but Victor Henry doesn't really fight like a 37-year-old. He's very fast. Still got it. I like Victor Henry a lot. I don't know a lot about Pedro Falcao, to be honest. He did win by knockout on the Contender Series. Love that. But it was 3.5 years ago. Then he fought on Tough Enough. Fought Victor Hugo a year ago. Gets a decision loss. I got Victor Henry. He's not much of a finisher, so I will pick him by decision. But yeah, basically just riding with Victor Henry. I like this guy. I love everything about this guy. Yeah, it's going to be my pick.
He's a young 37-year-old. I love everything about this kid. I'm going with Victor Henry, too. I was considering picking Pedro Falcao for a little while because a lot of predictors were picking him. They say he has great submission skills. Once you're on the mat, you're toast. But at the same time, the only loss by wrestling we've really seen from Victor Henry was from Charles Jourdain, and he's tall as hell and has super long limbs. And he has his patented guillotine choke. Yaya, I think, is sort of a worse version of Falcao, and Henry just stuffed the
Yaya's like completely washed.
Eat his ass. And then Javid Basharat, who's pretty solid. Henry was not doing great in that fight, and then he got kicked in the balls so bad he threw up. But Tony Gravely, solid, beat him by decision. I believe, who did he beat? He was the guy who fraud checked Peyton Talbot recently. Ryoni Barcelos.
Okay.
He beat Ryoni Barcelos, which I think is pretty impressive. And Charles Jourdain, tall guy, just got introduced to the division, so that's just sort of tough luck for Victor Henry. And he usually loses to taller opponents. Falco is shorter than him. He's shorter. And I think no matter how good your wrestling skills are, if you can't get this guy down, he's going to beat you, in my opinion. He also lost to Victor Hugo, and now he's dealing with another Victor H. Coincidence? I think not! So I think Victor Henry is going to get the win because of that.
All right, you got Reese McKee taking on.
God almighty.
Taking on Daniel Frunza. Reese McKee, 13-6-1, 3-2 in his last 5. He's 29 from Ireland. Frunza, a guy I do not know who he is, but again, knockout against a guy named Vadim, Russian, 6 months ago. Let's go. LFA, he's getting some finishes. Dude, I mean, look, Reese McKee, he was fun in Cage Warriors for sure. Gets to the UFC, loses to Angelusa of all people.
Not a great
in Jaquani, he goes to split
horrible fight.
Somewhat better. I don't know, dude. This is a weird one. I'm gonna go Frunza. I'm gonna pick him by KO. I think he's gonna continue the KO streak. But again, tough thing to pick because we never really know, especially as of late, how these Contender Series guys are gonna look in the UFC. I do like the Cage Warriors experience over. Well, we'll just put it this way: Daniel Frunza has the momentum. He's on a win streak. He's getting knocking fools out left and right. Reese McKee is. I don't even know why he's in the UFC at all at this point. But we're gonna pick Daniel Frunza to get the knockout and make welterweight fun again. And really, welterweight's been very fun. So
welterweight's been fantastic.
A new prospect.
Yes, sir. I'm going with Frunza the exact same way that you pictured it. I'm going with him by round 2 knockout. Simply because Reese McKee, I hated his performance against Chidi. He actually could have gotten it done on the feet, but leaned against him on the cage. It was just a horrible effort. And then Ange Lucy, his face was a punch magnet. Basically, dude just kept walking forward and kept getting hit. I get it. He's a skeleton, and it's when he bounces off his face, it's hard to break the bone. But with Daniel Frunza, and I really don't want to pick Daniel Frunza, to be honest. I picked Kutsi against him on Contender Series, and it was looking like he was going to lose in that fight. And then, bam, overhand right, knocks him out just like that. And I think it's been the same for him basically his entire career. He's sort of like a Dricus, where it's like, God, he's looking sloppy. He's not looking great. Oh, God, he's going to get knocked out. Oh, my God, he just knocked his opponent out. So Reese McKee, I predict he's going to look pretty good early on in the fight and be piecing up Frunza. Oh, no, Reese McKee upset victory. And then Frunza, bam, big punch that just puts McKee out cold.
Would you say that Frunza is mostly just like a stand-up guy?
Yeah. He's a stand-up guy, let me tell you.
Well, I would say Reese McKee definitely has some ground game. So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, yeah. Dude, Reese McKee, I don't know why he's in the UFC.
Yeah. Again, he's going to look good until he doesn't.
Got it. Cool. It is Dione Barbosa versus Diana Belbita at women's flyweight. Barboza 7-3. She is 4-1 in her last 5. Only lost to Miranda Maverick in her last fight. No shame in that. Miranda Maverick she's the gatekeeper to the top of the division for sure. But on the other side, you've got Belbita, who is 15-9, 3-2 in her last 5. She's 28. I have no idea what she's doing in the UFC. She lost to Molly McCann with armbar a year ago. Carolina Kowalkiewicz, which, by the way, I think I picked her to beat Kowalkiewicz, and then Kowalkiewicz kind of just had this little resurgence. She's only beaten Hannah Goldie, who is another victim of Molly McCann.
Sounds like
and
an old
Oliveira, who I don't think is in the UFC anymore. Could be, but yeah, very clearly this is a layup for Barboza. I'm going Barboza by decision, basically because Diana Belbita is just terrible. She's a terrible fighter.
Yeah. I think the reason why this matchup was made is because it's the warrior princess against the witch. And, you know, that's a pretty good setup for a cartoon, if I do say so myself. But honestly, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if their names were swapped because Belbita has very long hair, like insanely long hair that she does not cut, and it's like a witch's hair, basically.
That might be why she's losing so much.
Yeah, bubble, toil, and trouble right there. But Dione Barbosa lost to Miranda Maverick, close fight. Honestly, everybody makes Maverick look bad in a fight, even if she wins. Ernesta Karakady beats her, and I respect that win. Rain Guerrero, she finds an armbar that almost made me want to pick her by sub because somehow Molly frickin' Meatball McCann, who is now not fighting anymore, somehow did it to her in the first round. But Barboza, she doesn't often go for the takedowns. She often gets it done on the feet. And because of that, I don't think she's going to go for a submission threat here. So give me Barboza to win by decision. Easy stuff. And maybe we could have like a hair versus hair match, and we could do at the end there.
Love it. It is Dangerous Davy Grant versus Daniel Santos.
Yes, I love this fight.
Yeah, this is a sick fight. Davy Grant, 14-7. He is 3-2 in his last 5. 39 years old. At Bantamweight, still getting it done. Daniel Santos, 11-2, 4-1 in his last 5. He's 30 from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Brazil.
Leo Arce. He beat Castaneda and Munoz Jr., 2 okay fighters in the division. Davy Grant, on the other hand, I keep picking against him, and he just keeps winning. I cannot pick a Davy Grant fight to save my life unless it's
new Ariane Lipski de Silva right here.
Unless it's against Daniel Marcos, which I did pick correctly, but it was still a close fight. He whooped up on Tavares only 3 months ago. Like I said, man, I keep picking against Davy Grant. He keeps getting it done. And the reason why I keep picking against him is if we look at his wins as of recent. I mean, dude, he went to split with Yanez when Yanez was still like a really hot prospect. He beats Luis Smolka, who is bad. Asuncao, who's washed, loses to Marcos. And then I'm like, dude, Ramon Tavares gonna beat him. Nope. But I mean, does it kind of concern you that he's back 3 months after a little bit of a war with Tavares?
No, because I think he looked really good in there. And it's always the same with Davy Grant. He looks really good. A year goes by. He has a fight. He had a really close one. He loses. A year goes by. Man, he looked really good. And then he takes a year off and then loses. But this time he's like, I'm right back in the mix. I'm fighting after 3 months. I honestly think Davy Grant didn't really take that much damage in that fight. I thought he looked pretty damn good in there. So I don't know. I'm not impressed by Daniel Santos compared to the guys that he has beat.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to pick Grant by decision. It sounds like you are too. But that means he probably will lose because I'm not good at picking Davy Grant fights.
It's true. Hopefully I'll be good at picking Davy Grant fights. I got him by decision here over Daniel Santos. Honestly, I think Davy Grant could be on a 5-fight win streak right now. It could be argued he beat Yanez. Honestly, I thought he beat Daniel Marcos, but they didn't give him the decision, even though he looked fantastic in there. And then Rafael Asuncao, he looks horrible and then finds the rear naked choke. But even when he looks bad, he finds a way to still hang in there. So I don't know. You can never count out Davy Grant is my point. And Daniel Santos, John Castaneda is all right, sexy Mexi. Johnny Munoz goes to a decision with him. Not all that impressed with that. Loses to Julio Arce, who I honestly don't value all that much. So Daniel Santos, he's very entertaining. Part of the Oliveira camp. People make comparisons, but he's not as good as Charlie Olives. And also, he may look fun in there, but he doesn't look consistent in there. So I think he's going to lose to Davey Grant by decision. I think Davey Grant is going to make this fight look a lot like the fight with Ramon Tavares, because he looked really good in that fight.
Similar matchup myself.
And he just outstruck him. Easy as pie. So I'm taking Davey Grant to beat the Willie Cat. And when you're dealing with a predator like that, it's dangerous. So give me Davey Grant to pull.
When you said Charlie Olives, I was thinking about Dan Hooker when he's like, Charlie Olives, I got broomsticks thicker than that bloke.
Wow. That's random but fantastic.
All right, we got Luis Grul versus Ode at flyweight. This man, Luis, is undefeated, 10-0. Got into the UFC off of a split decision to Nick Piccinini. And he is 31. Taking on Mr. Ode Osborne, who is 12-8. He's 1-4 in his last 5. But that one win is keeping him in the UFC. It was Charles Johnson. Somehow he beat Charles Johnson by split. Had a very close fight with Ronaldo Rodriguez, who we now have learned is not very good. And I think we already knew that.
We always knew. We just didn't think he'd lose the decision.
Right. He is 33. Going up against Luis, who is a decisionator. All decisions besides this choke in Fury, which Fury is a really good promotion, by the way, out of Texas. Ode Osborne is kind of he's fun for about a round. He's very fun for about a round. And then just
all goes downhill.
Sucks after that. So this is a weird one. Newcomer getting in the UFC off the split for some terrible reason. But honestly, it's fuck, man. Ode Osborne might be a sneaky underdog in this fucking fight. Damn it. I would hate to see it. I would like to see Luis carry on his last Fury fight, get a sub. That'd be sick. But I'm gonna go with Luis to do the decisionator thing. I think that Ode Osborne's best bet to win this fight is to have some crazy sequence where he hurts Luis and finishes him, or just gets a 10-8 round. So I think the safer pick will be Luis, who is just on a roll, getting decision. I think he knows how to win. He's got the momentum. Give me Luis to get the decision win in this one.
I agree with you. I'm going with Grul by decision. I actually became a big fan of Grul in his fight with Nick Piccinini. He beat him via split. But don't let that fool you. He looked like a dog in that fucking fight. Like, he was sort of in trouble early, and then he was like, coming back, beat him up, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was just like, man, he's looking really good in there. And I was like, dude, he should get a unanimous decision. Instead, it went to a split, and I was like, oh, God, come on, please let it be Luis. Come on, he did so well. But Luis, he may get a submission, but this dude's a monster on the feet. Just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like, if you hit him, he's going to hit you back and harder. And with Ode Osborne, he knocked down Ronaldo Rodriguez, but we all know Ronaldo Rodriguez sucks. He just sucks. Why is he in the UFC? He's a star on TikTok. That's why. But
and during his walkout, did you see Ronaldo Rodriguez in the card last weekend? Did you see Julio Cesar Chavez hugging him on the way on his ring walk?
That tells you something. Makes you wish he'd have won, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the skill to do it.
Julio Cesar Chavez, his son sucks, and I think he just has an affinity for fighters that just aren't very good, unless their name is Canelo.
Yeah, it's not good that Ronaldo Rodriguez took him down a bunch in that fight, despite him looking really good and knocking down Ronaldo. Aslam Mabayev gets taken down, choked out. With Luis Grul, I think he can wrestle, because I think I saw him shoot a few takedowns, and as you can see, he got this arm triangle choke. But he's mostly just on the feet. Ode Osborne could hit him with the big shot. Ooh, Grul looks hurt there. And then next couple of rounds, He's coming back. Oh, O'Day slowing down. Here comes the 1-2, 1-2, 3-4, 1-2, 1-2, 3, and it's just like, oh my God, he's already dead. Stop it. Louis Garola is really fun to watch, and I think things are going to look pretty grim for the Jamaican sensation.
To be fair to O'Day, like he's lost to Tyson Nam, big puncher, almost 3 years ago. Suil Mabayev, Filio. Those are some decent fighters. They're not the worst names. So I think if Luis gets this done impressively, it'll be a big stamp, and we'll get a good gauge off of where his career is going to go at flyweight off of this fight. So looking forward to that. Robert Valentin versus Torres Finney at middleweight. It is. Sorry, what'd you say?
Speaking of looking forward to, I'm loving this matchup.
Valentin is 10-4. He is 3-1-1 in his last 5. He's plus. Now we finally have odds. Plus 170 as the dog. He is 30 years old from Switzerland. Torres Finney, 10-0, undefeated, 26 years old. Minus 225 as the favorite. Torres Finney famously got snubbed by Dana White twice. And then he comes back, he gets that knockout, and Dana White has no choice but to sign him. Finally, the man with no neck, Torres Finney. Torres Finney, obviously very, very skilled on the ground. Not too sure about his stand-up ability. Robert Valentin in his last fight, I loosely remember it was just kind of a war, and he got knocked out by a man named Ryan Loder. I expect Torres Finney to carry on that momentum from his last Dana White Contender Series match, get Valentin down on the ground and land some vicious ground and pound, finish him. And the round is just the only thing in question. We're going to just go the special split decision combat sports method and go with a round 2 TKO.
All right. Man, you made a wise decision. Because if it doesn't get done in round 1, it'll probably get done in round 2, or we get a Robert Valentin upset, which would also be nice.
That's like if you ain't first or last in Talladega Nights when he's like, "Remember what you told me at career day? If you ain't first or last," he's like, "Ricky, that doesn't even make any sense. I was high when I said that. You could be second, third, fourth, hell, you could even be fifth."
It's true. But if it isn't first, it's going to be second for sure. But Robert Valentin, yeah, he took on Ryan Loder. Thankfully for Idaho fight fan, he listened to Hank the Tank's pick and went with Ryan Loder. It was bad news for Ryan Loder in the first round because Valentin got him down and was like, "Oh my God, he's almost got the submission! Holy crap!" And then Loder just refused to get submitted. And then he did what I love best about Ryan Loder. When he gets you down, he's got you in a mousetrap. Like, he got his arm. He got his leg. He's in a crucifix. He's done. Boom, elbow. He loaded them up because he's Ryan Loder. And he got the quick second round knockout. He's also a Sacramento boy. So let's go, Ryan Loder. I wish him all the best. Uriah Faber. Yes, sir. But, yeah. Oh, 15-25. He beats this guy. 11-3. That's all right. Now, Robert Valentin did look pretty good on Tough, in my opinion. Guy's got one punch, or should I say one elbow knockout power. But unfortunately for him, Torres Finney, like Idaho said, he's got no neck. So if Valentin gets him down, and if you think Ryan Loder gets out of it, this dude's strong as a bull. He's gonna like just push him right off of him if he tries to get Torres down. Then he'll be the one on top, and then he'll do a bunch of like squats while he's on top, and you're like, what are you doing? Torres Finney, stop doing little squats while you have him down. Just finish him already. And he finally learned his lesson. He got Rami down and then knocked him out. Round 1, ground and pound. Dana White finally let him in. He might as well just let him into the White family at this point, since he's known him for a long time. Not the White family. The White family, understand. You might play some poker with them, you know. But Torres Finney, I like what he does once he's on top. No Diddy, and he just beats the crap out of Robert Valentin, in my opinion, and just does what Ryan Loder did, except even worse. So give me Finney to punish Rob Zilla. Right. Hey, yo, here comes Tokyo.
I'm gonna let you tee up the next one because it's your guy fighting in the next fight.
Oh yes, but sadly I'm not going with them. I can't
What?
pick GM3. I can't pick him.
What?
I'm not picking him against Brad Tavares because this dude has great takedown defense. He does. He wouldn't let Chris Weidman get him down once. Gregory Rodriguez.
Steve Ersteg last week, and now no GM3. What is happening to this show?
I gotta do what I gotta do to win, man. I gotta do what I gotta do. But Gregory Rodriguez has he's on steroids, so that explains how he got taken down. And then Yoon Young Park, honestly, I thought that Iron Turtle didn't win. I thought Tavares beat him because he had solid takedown defense. Now, I love the Iron Turtle. I'm glad he won, but I will say that he got pretty lucky with that decision. This honestly looks horrible for Brad Tavares' record. And it would be like, oh, man, that's the recipe for a classic vintage GM3 round 2 comeback sub win. But Edmund Shabazian doesn't really have takedown defense. He beat him up, but then he just found himself on his back easily. Brian Barberena has 0 grappling. Andre Petroski, he actually did pretty well against, which makes me think that he could find a way to win a decision here. But Joe
Petroski is largely just a wrestler, though.
And I will say, dude, he had a great performance against Rainier de Ritter. He almost knocked out Rainier de Ritter in the first round. Dude's sloppy as hell. But he did get taken down, and he did get subbed at the end of the day. I think Brad Tavares' takedown defense is too good. I don't see it happening, man. I don't.
That's crazy.
But I will say, out of respect for my GOAT, Gerald Meerschaert, bet the money on Gerald Meerschaert winning by submission. Do it. I mean, it's free money if he wins.
Speaking on betting, Gerald Meerschaert plus 195 as the underdog. Brad Tavares minus 250 as the favorite. GM3 37-18. That is a crazy record. 2-3 in his last 5. Brad Tavares
got the most
4 in his last 5. 20-10.
Got the most subs in middleweight history for a reason.
I mean, this is a classic striker versus grappler match, right?
It is.
GM3. Gosh, man, getting punched in one round against double booked Khamzat Chimaev. The first punch that Khamzat threw. On the other side, Brad Tavares been basically washed for a long time, but still putting on very competitive, fun matches. Yeah, like you said, Park. Rodriguez got knocked out lost a decision to Chris Weidman of all people.
He won to Chris Weidman.
Won against Chris Weidman, beating up his legs after coming back. But yeah, Bruno Silva, Dricus, dude, fuck, man. But see, this is where it's hard to pick Meerschaert because his last 2 wins are to Brian Barbs and Shabazian, who
beat him up
expertly, has no ground game.
Yeah.
Not hurt Gerald Meerschaert. I think that Brad Tavares will be more measured and patient on the feet, and he's going to take his time against Meerschaert. But Meerschaert has that weird striking ability that comes only a expert level grappler could have with the sloppy hands, and
yes,
it does somehow.
There.
Look, I've never really been a believer in Brad Tavares, so that is why I am gonna go Meerschaert.
Let's go, dude.
But dude, this is a close fight. This is a close fight.
Please, God, please.
It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Both these men are at the tail end of their career, so it is good to see them matched up together.
I thank you for having mercy on my favorite fighters. I really do.
You know what? I picked Steve Ersteg last week. Bit me in the ass.
Go with the Hank fighters. Round 3 sub for GM3.
This might be the last time. This might be the last time, but we'll see. Yeah. And it is SS Jackson. Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go, my GOAT, GM3.
All right. Next fight will be Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus Martin Buday. Buday at heavyweight. Kennedy and Nzechukwu 14-5.
Friend.
He is 3-2 in his last 5, minus 295 as the favorite. He's 32 from Dallas. You got Martin Buday, 14-2. 4-1 in his last 5, plus 230 as the underdog. He is 33. His last loss was coming to Shamil Gaziev or Gaziev. Dude, but he beat Andre.
Future heavyweight GOAT, let me tell you.
Got Arlovsky out of the UFC. Look
No
at
promo
these,
package. No package.
look at these wins though. Parisian, Jake Collier, who used to be a middleweight, then he got really fat. And
Ew.
split.
Ew.
Bro. Kennedy and Nzechukwu submitted Devin Clark, lost to Dustin Jacoby, and Oven St. Preux by split, knocks out Chris Barnett and Lucas Presky. Oh my God. Look, Kennedy and Nzechukwu is a guy who has, and I say this every time I make a pick on him, he's a guy who has all of the tangibles, right? Very tall, athletic, a huge. I mean, look at his reach. It's 83 inches, 6-inch reach advantage. But a man who I have long thought has lacked the killer instinct. I think that he's since kind of gotten that.
He found it.
Yeah, he's found it working with Saif Saud out of Fortis MMA. Fantastic coach. I'm going to pick Kennedy and Nzechukwu here to get the knockout. I'm going to pick him in the second round, as I always do. And because I think Martin Boudet is terrible. Now, there's a chance that Martin Boudet just outfats him and just lays on him. But I'm not sure that's going to be enough to get him the decision win, which is the way I think he has the best chance of winning. Because really, Kennedy only loses to strikers who outdog him. But yeah, give me Kennedy, give me the knockout. Let's go. Let's hope this Apex card isn't absolutely horrible.
I mean, we got some knockouts and some finishes so far, and a GM3 win if Idaho's right. So this card's a banger. Kennedy Nzechukwu, he's gotten a second wind at heavyweight, destroyed Chris Barnett. Didn't have a chance. Lucas Bresky, I will say, pieced him up a little bit on the feet, and you're like, uh-oh, is this going to be an OSP all over again? And then he finds the knockout in round one, easy as pie, and helps me out on points in that show. But Martin Boudet, he got knocked out by Shamil Gaziev in round one, late round one, and Andre Arlovsky almost loses to him as well. So he's looking worse for wears. And honestly, a split decision to Lucas Bresky should be a crime in some states.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
But probably not in Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly. I almost got arrested there, man. But Kennedy Nzechukwu, I think he's tall. I think he's lean machine. I think he's got a long reach. And if Shamil Gaziev can find the knockout on him, and he's often very clunky and slow as hell, I think Kennedy's a lot faster, being a former light heavyweight. He's going to knock him out pretty quickly, in my opinion. I don't think Boudet has anything for him to worry about on the feet. Most he has is the fat takedown, but didn't lather himself in butter this time around. So it'll be harder to do it. And Kennedy Nzechukwu is going to treat him like he did Chris Barnett, in my opinion. I just don't think he has anything for him on the feet. So give me the African Savage to get the round one knockout. He is the dark horse of heavyweight. Look out for Kennedy Nzechukwu. He's a bad man.
All right, we got Cortavius Ramios. Are you not entertained? Is his nickname? Terrible nickname.
We're not.
Chang Ho Lee. Holy crap. Cortavius is 9-3, 3-2 in his last 5, plus 135 as the underdog. He is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 31 years old. Chang Ho Lee, 10-1. On a 4-fight win streak, 4-1 in his last 5. He is from South Korea, and that is basically the entire reason why I'm leaning Cortavius. Now, Cortavius famously was one of these guys that just didn't deliver after getting into the contender series. Getting in from the contender series. Dude, I don't even fucking know, dude. I don't think these South Korean guys do well in the UFC. I hate to be that guy because I love Road FC. I love all of the regional promotions in South Korea. But I don't know why. I just always fade these dudes. I think Cortavius is just gonna get a decision win, edge it out. Not very entertaining. But yeah, give me Cortavius to get it done.
So I'm going with Chang Ho Lee here. I'm going with him because he is part of the new weight class of South Korean fighters, the new generation of South Korean fighters that have the pun nickname, and it helps them out. Soo Young Yu and his jiu-jitsu got it done recently. You gotta love it. And holy shit, is Chang Ho Lee pretty mid. He fought Long Zhao. Horrible fight. I watched just highlights of this horrible fight, but I will say he got him down. He got Zhao down. He Zhao down on Long Zhao, no diddy, and showed better work on the feet. But before that, he was getting ground pound knockout, ground pound knockout, ground pound knockout. Now I am worried about this loss he took to a 3-0 guy, but then Romeus loses to Bolaños in horrible fashion.
Dude, losing to Gaston Bolaños in the year of our Lord 2025 or 2024 in the modern era is
cardinal sin.
It's laughable.
Yeah, it's horrible. And he was just on his back, and he looked tired, and he looked small. He is a tiny dude for bantamweight even. Won against Michael Imparato. I honestly thought Imparato beat him. I thought he beat him. Cortavius, he took him down, great, and then he got immediately turned right back onto his back and just sort of laid there a little bit. And he's lucky he got enough damage to win that thing. Dude, fucking Paul Felder, dude, had Cortavius Romeus on the top of his list for prospects to look out for on this season of Contender Series after his performance, not before. So I hate Paul Felder I hate Contender Series version of Paul Felder. I hope he never commentates for that organization ever again. And Bolaños is trash, and he still found a way to get on top of Cortavius Romeus and beat him up. Chang Ho Lee was able to do the same thing to a way taller guy than Cortavius Romeus. I think he can do the same thing here. Pretty simple. He's also a finisher outside of that one fight. Cortavius Romeus is just a victim on his back, and Chang Ho Lee is just going to give us a holy shit moment and just take him down and beat him up. And I think the real question here is, are we entertained rather than are we not entertained? Because that's a question you have to ask in this one.
Good to see No Chill, who apparently is friends with Hank the Tank again. He says, do the Hank dance. Please never do that ever again. Oh my god, what is that?
I have no idea what it is, to be honest.
Oh okay. Well, don't ever do it again, please. Okay. Good to see you, No Chill. Joe Anderson
adding notes for the outro
versus Patty Saab. God damn it. Oh jeez, what is this show? God. What was that?
It finally broke him.
Oh god. Okay. Joe Anderson Burrito. 17-4-1. He is 4-1 in his last 5. Minus 250 as the favorite, 30 years old. Patty Sabs, on the other hand, is 19-5. Plus 195 is the dog. He is up and down, win-loss, win-loss. 3-2 in his last 5. 34. So really, Pat Sabatini, this guy is such a good grappler, dude. Finisher in the grappling department. Joe Anderson Brito, definitely more well-rounded. If Pat Sabatini gets your back, you're done. You're done. It's a wrap. If I get the backpack, it's a wrap. But God, and this is another guy, dude. I cannot pick his fights to save my life. Damn it, dude. I think that Pat Sabatini, since they're both 5'8". So obviously Brito got that stoppage against Jack Shore, which wasn't really a stoppage. They both subbed JSP. He lost a split to William Gomes 6 months ago. And we both correctly picked that fight. It says it was a split. Was it really that close?
Let me take a look. Yeah, we both incorrectly picked that fight. William Gomez pulled off the split. It was very close, and most people thought that Joe Anderson Brito won.
Got it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Brito by decision, but don't rule out Pat Sabatini just finding a sub somewhere random.
Speaking of guys who have found a sub randomly, who can forget Jonathan Pierce telling him, "Do something, boy, do something," and then Joe Anderson Brito was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah," and then found the ninja choke out of nowhere, like he's a freaking Muppet. And then Jack Shore beats him up, gets a bunch of leg kicks, cut on the shin, bullshit stoppage, but hey, it was still a finish. He couldn't compete. William Gomez, I think he beat him. Also, answering Sniff's question, did you start dancing? No, dude. I had the symptoms, so I was tired. Okay, so I wasn't even in the mood to dance, and you don't feel like dancing afterwards. But a fight fan, the '80s called they want the beard back.
Is this an '80s style beard?
Yeah. By the way, Sniff, oh god, Billy Mays called. He wants his bleach back. Okay.
Billy Mays here.
Billy Mays here. OxyClean. But wait, there's more. Joe Anderson Brito. I thought he beat William Gomez pretty clearly. Pat Sabatini does really well, and then he gets knocked out. And then he does really well, and then he gets knocked out. And then he does really well. So he did really well. He's going to get knocked out.
I mean, to be fair, like getting knocked out by Damon Jackson, especially like 2.5 years ago, he's mostly a grappler. So Damon Jackson has that dog in him, and he's a good grappler as well. I'm not surprised. And then getting knocked out by Diego Lopez, I mean, come on, we're gonna fade the guy for that?
Yeah, but at the same time, he shot a takedown, he failed, and then he got destroyed. Damon Jackson, I'm surprised he ever gets knockouts. I'm surprised he's gotten a knockout, but he still managed to find a way. If he gets his takedown stuffed, he is in big, big trouble. So I think Brito's gonna pull a yeah, and find the round one, either round one sub or round one knockout. I think Pat Sabatini's going to be on his back, and he's going to be like, "Do something, boy, do something," and then Brito's going to be like, "Eh," and then down he goes. So give me Joe Anderson Brito.
All right, man, it's the main event. It is Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Josh Emmett, 19-4. He is 3-2 in his last 5 plus 205 as the underdog. He's 40 now, jeez, but we all love him because he murdered Bryce Mitchell. Sorry, unalived Bryce Mitchell. And that was one of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen live, easily. Losing to Ilya Topuria and Yair Rodriguez by sub, and that Yair fight was sick, by the way. Lerone Murphy, though, man, 15-0-1. Minus 265 is the favorite. He is 33 from England. Dude, this is sick. This is a sick matchup. But Lerone Murphy, his biggest knock, all decisions besides Makwan Amirkhani 3 years ago. Beating Kulabau, Barboza, and Ige. I think this is a very, very similar matchup to Dan Ige. Well-rounded enough fighter, but mostly a striker who's much shorter than him that has a lot of power. Listen, man, 40-year-old Josh Emmett could definitely tag you, get that knockout. You know he's going to be invigorated too after just having one of the nastiest knockouts ever. I don't think that's unfair to say either. But Lerone Murphy, he's too good. He's too good everywhere. He's got grappling. He is very, very good with the striking, very technical. I'm picking Lerone Murphy to win by decision. It is 5 rounds. Emmett does have more 5-round experience than Lerone Murphy. But every time it seems Josh Emmett gets that step-up fight, where he's supposed to go on to bigger and better things and maybe a title. It doesn't end well for him. And now he's 40 at featherweight. Definitely Lerone Murphy's going to get the dub here. I just don't think that it's going to be the performance that puts Lerone Murphy over the top. And I think that his progress in the weight class will be forever stagnated for that reason. And I think it'll show in this fight.
God, this might be the most boring and anticlimactic main event to pick for a UFC card in quite a while. In my opinion.
I disagree, man. I think that Lerone Murphy is very fun to watch. He has a lot of skill to appreciate. but he just doesn't get knockouts.
That's true. Takes two to tango. And I would really hope that Josh Emmett gets a classic Bryce Mitchell KO afterwards, and walks away. And Murphy's like a little bit, but we can't always get what we want, And as we saw with the Dan Ige fight, Ige dropped him. He dropped Lerone Murphy and oh shit, he's gonna get finished, and then he finds a way to survive. Then it's oh, he reversed the takedown. Oh shit, he's on top. Uh-oh, not good. And I think he's going to win in decision just because if Ilia Topuria can't beat this guy, it can't knock this guy out, then I highly, highly doubt that Lerone Murphy can do it. Murphy's technical. Will have quicker, faster, more technical striking than Josh Emmett. And then when he needs to, he'll get the takedown. Pretty easy. Pretty predictable fight. But Josh Emmett could find it. He could find that knockout. He's got one-punch knockout power. I just don't think he's going to find it. Or if he does, it won't matter. So give me the miracle to not pull off a miracle here. If anything, Josh Emmett's the one who's pulling off the miracle. Give me him to beat CCO, which might be one of the worst nicknames I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what that is.
I mean, are you not entertained? And Corey Beeston 24-8 Anderson are the two worst nicknames I think I've come across.
Yeah, we went from all the great names to pretty terrible ones.
Beeston 24-8, or wait, was it? It's 25-8. Beeston 25-8. Do you know why Lerone Murphy's nickname is the Miracle?
Wasn't he almost dead at birth and then survived, and it was a miracle?
He got shot, and that's why his jaw. That's why his face looks like that, because he got shot in his mouth and survived.
Hey, look what we got in that Granite, though.
Good to see you, Granite. My good friend of mine from Boston.
Just in time.
We're just wrapping the show up now, man. Where were you? I'm surprised we kept it under 2 hours, man.
Hey, Tank. Yeah, we had a lot to cover, and we went through it pretty quickly.
So, now that we've kind of covered everything, I think you're looking forward to most on the weekend.
I'm looking forward to the great GM3. Of course. I want to see Joyce versus Hrgovich beat the absolute crap out of each other. PFL. I'm actually looking forward to PFL for once. So hope they deliver. If I get home at a certain time and the show's still on, I might do a mini fight companion for the last couple fights for that. We'll see. And then what else? Invicta, gross. I think... God, what else? I'm looking forward to Joe Anderson Brito coming back, because Brito is nonstop entertainment. And then there's what was the fight that I said I was interested in? That was Valentin versus Torres Finney. Can't wait. Somebody's getting finished.
I mean, look, the correct answer is GM3, and it's going to be an absolute mess and just shit show of glory.
But when it's great, it's great.
I'm here for it. Granite says, I have my own live stream. Yeah, check out Granite's channel if you get a chance. But he's asking a question, so I don't know if he did or have his live stream or not. Also, he says 8-4 last week. ? No, I think I went 9 and
12.
9-3, 9 out of 12.
I did the same.
Saturday. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a shit show. It'd be awesome.
Won it by just a hair. Oh, I forgot to mention, I finally snapped my dry streak because I
did mention it on the post show.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, of course. I always go over
that one was tough. Came down to the last main event, and what better way to end the competition than the main event?
Speaking of 8-4, that's the record now between Hank and I. So you got some catching up to do there, bud.
That's true. I've been down two times before.
He says I already did it. Well, you put a question mark at the end of your sentence there, so I thought you were asking a question. Anyway, but yeah, check out Grant's channel. He does all sorts of fight companions and fight breakdown. That's actually where I got the idea to do this show, was bullshitting with Granite over on his channel. So shout out to you, Granite, my good friend. All right, man. You got anything else to say to the people?
Watch a bunch of combat sports this weekend. It's worth it. BKFC's looking great.
Something for everybody.
Exactly.
Cool. All right,
That's
man.
it.
Well, lead us out.
You have escaped the concrete jungle for now. I'm so bad, I came back from the dead. So fast, I'll make a hole in your head. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. I'll knock this bum out like I'm Alexei Olenek. And let me tell you, come here, Vanessa, baby. Get in my arms, sweet cheeks. Hey, Gianni, get in here. Nick Piccinini.